Hello, thank you for joining us today for the continuation of our series, Instapage Product Tour, Coffee and Conversion. Some quick housekeeping items today as we get ready to begin in the next few minutes. Please, if you have any questions during the Q&A or during the webinar, just submit it to the Q&A box at the bottom. And then we'll also be sending out a recording and copy of today's deck via email early next week. So now that we've gone over those, I hope everyone has grabbed their cup of coffee and is ready to get started. Our agenda for this week is we will be reviewing new features, doing a live product demonstration, and then a quick Q&A at the end. Joining us, we have Griffin from our product marketing team, myself, Michelle Barnes from the professional services team, and then Alexandra, our product manager as well. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the new features. The first one that we want to share with you today is our AI content generation for collections. So Griffin, can you give us some quick insight into this feature?
Yeah, and hey everyone, with AI content gen for collections, this is a powerful new feature we've added. And since you work off a page template with collections, and then when paired with fluid grid blocks, this allows you to just enter a prompt now and generate unique, ready-to-use pages in seconds. And the added pro here is that you have a built-in content table to manage these pages at scale too, enabling seamless AI personalization.
Definitely. And some tips and tricks for using this is when you are creating your prompt, you want to make sure that you are providing as many details as possible. So ensure that you're adding things such as the target audience, the type of messaging and tone that you want for the page, and then also highlight what your goal is for this page. That way, the AI can take all of that into consideration to help crafting that initial message when it's generating the new pages. So with that, the next feature that we want to highlight is our new schema offering. So Griffin, tell us how this works.
Yeah, getting into schema, this is important for SEO and now more recently AEO, which is on the AI side, SEO on the search side. And schema, it can sound scary, but it's just, and even when you see it like code, it's just really structured JSON data added to your backend of your pages. And like in simpler term, as I mentioned, like it is code that describes your content in a way that search engines and AI systems can better understand. And you can think of it as their language, and it's what helps them digest, whereas your visitors, they digest your pages. And yeah, as I mentioned, like we tried to make this as easy as possible because the drag and drop builder, we extract code here as well. Schema, we're extracting the code as well. And you have an option in our platform, as you see on the right, where you can just generate the schema and then it will be done for you without having to navigate all that code and complexity and technicalities. However, if you want to, you do have the option to manually update this as well and validate it. So we give you the best of both worlds depending on your skill level.
Definitely. And some tips and tricks for that. So we do recommend, using the same as property to link your organization or persona schema to an authoritative third party, like your LinkedIn profile. So you can manually go in and edit some of those and add this in. And then also ensure that the headline properly in your schema matches that of your page's H1 exactly. So those inconsistencies can lead kind of to the loss of results, eligibility to show up in those rich snippets that come from the schema. But some interesting facts about it is that only about 17 to 25% of active domains actually use schema. So using it offers a competitive advantage to those who implement it as well. So I highly recommend starting to take a look at this in order to rank higher and then also be added into those AEO results. And then it also shows that research shows that listings with rich results powered by schema see about a 30 to 58% increase in listing click-through rates. So it can also help with your click-throughs on your page listings as well. So some really exciting stuff with schema coming out. Definitely recommend trying it and ranking a little bit higher organically and in answer engines. But with our next one that we're excited to introduce, Griffin, can you tell us about email analytics?
Yeah, email analytics. I think if you're sending emails, you of course want to see how they perform. And that's why we've added this one into our platform at a more visualized view. As you can see on the right, within each email, you can click inside and you can see these visuals from your opens, your delivery rate, your bounce rate, And then, yeah, you can also see that visual, which also helps in this case where you can see the sent, delivery rate, bounce rate, as I mentioned. You also see clicks, and that helps to be able to, know what to optimize, whether it's your subject line, if you're seeing minimal opens, or if you're seeing, they're opening it, but they're not clicking, then maybe something in the here of your email. Like it's giving you that insight. And you also get insight on the time of day to send. So a lot of good insights in there. Definitely recommend jumping in and viewing your email analytics.
Yeah, so kind of as Griffin mentioned, so I'd recommend looking at that CTOR. Initially CTR tells you how many people out of all the people who opened your email clicked through. If your open rate is high, but your CTOR is low, then that means that your subject line was great, but your email content kind of failed to deliver that promise. So I would do that comparison of measuring how many people who opened your email then clicked through to the next section. Some optimization suggestions, make sure that you're keeping the CTA buttons above the fold, and then ensure that you're optimizing for both desktop and mobile devices in your emails for better performance. And then the next exciting feature we wanted to go over is our new external pop-ups offering. So Griffin, with that.
Yeah, external pop-ups is as it sounds. You can now use pop-ups externally outside of Instapage in addition to in Instapage. But in this case, if you wanted to use it on your website that's not built in Instapage, you can do that. And then, of course, you can still do it inside the platform as well. And to do this, it has a walkthrough. You'll get through it like a guided journey through the platform. And you'll just set your domain target, and then you'll choose your triggers and frequency, and then you add that script to your website's code. And yeah, this is helpful because usually this requires a separate pop-up tool, but now you have the ability to create, manage, launch, and use pop-ups wherever you want, all from Instapage.
And some things to keep in mind when you're planning on adding external pop-ups to your websites is pop-ups that appear after 8 seconds tend to perform better than those that are immediately. So immediate pop-ups tend to kind of interrupt that flow, and they can lead to a 25% higher bounce rate. And then also keeping in mind that over 60% of web traffic is mobile. So Google will penalize intrusive interstitials on mobile that like block the entire screen. So you want to make sure that you're keeping it smaller on mobile screens so you're not blocking it. And then about that 30% ratio for SEO traffic on those website pages. And then the last one that we wanted to talk about, it's more of a tell and less of a show, but our automatic image optimization that's coming out.
Yeah, as Michelle mentioned, this is a backend update we are in the process of doing, and it just ensures the images you use are automatically optimized. And this, of course, helps with page speed and performance. And the biggest pro is that you don't have to use any extra tool, and you can just upload it, use it on your page, and rest assured that your images will be optimized and your page will load fast and perform at a high rate.
Yeah, definitely. And so there's nothing you need to do on your side in order for this to come out. The rollout will occur slowly over probably the next year or so. And it will first apply to all newly created pages, and then they'll phase it to existing pages. And that's just to ensure a smooth, low risk rollout. So make sure that, communicating back and forth, we'll double check, make sure that everything's rolling out okay, and nothing is having any errors. But now that we've talked about these new features, it is our chance to see them live. So I'm going to hand it over to Alexandra to show us these new features in the platform.
Yeah, hello everyone, and let me share my screen to demonstrate all of those features. So let's start from collections content generation. And here I have my collection, and you can find a button generate with AI here. Yeah, and by clicking this button, you will see this generate content with AI, where you can set up a number of pages you need to generate. And also here you see a field for your prompt. You can click here and get any suggestions, and how already been said that like, yeah, you can generate up to 50 pages per one generation. And yeah, for different use cases, for different type of users, using different styles, focusing on different business segments, maybe different locations, and so on. Let me generate 3 pages, and I would like to do it in different languages, for example. But also, as already was said, you can include as many details as possible here. Because yeah, the better it will affect your result, and you can also include some keywords that you would like to add to your pages. So let's generate and see the result. And as you see, yeah, my 3 additional pages were added here. I can preview it. Yeah, you see the language here, English. Let's check the next one. Okay.
I
Yeah,
think a
something.
thing to note with the languages is your entire content will need to be inside of those double brackets to translate each of them. So when you are, if you're looking at doing like a global scaling in order to generate within different languages, instead of just putting like a headline or a key phrase inside of those, you'll put the entire phrase and then it will take each of those on the whole page and it will translate them into the other languages.
Well, let me try one more time. I think it could be because I slightly changed my prompt, and it could be the reason why we got the wrong. Yeah, now I have the right result. Here you can see different languages, and so pay attention to your prompt. As I said, like everything depends on prompt, and the better and more specific you create your prompt, the better result you will get. Yeah, and of course, like you can interact with those pages same way how you interact with all your pages in your collection. You can edit it, and when you're ready, you can just publish updates. Basically, yes, that's it what you need to know about this feature, and I think we can move to schema. So to add schema to your pages, you need to go here and you can find this tab here, and when you click here you have schema markup. So there are 2 ways how to add schema by generating it with AI and manually. So you can learn more about schema here and add it manually, but for those who don't want to do it by themselves, you can click here and you need to select a type. But again, it could be selected just auto-detected, and when you click continue, you will get this result. We also recommend to check this result to validate it with official schema.org website. And when it's ready and validated, you can just click save here. Yeah, and it means that it already added to your page. So, and yeah, as we said before, it's just a structural data that will affect how your pages appears in search result, make it more visible, and can affect your rate, how many customers, how many people click on this on your web page. Okay, let's move on to email analytics. let's go to emails. And here, when you have a list of your emails, you can see some basic analytics here. Everything that we kind of a dashboard presented here. You can see here delivery rate, open rate, click-through rate. So if you want to see some detail analytics, you can go here and click View Analytics. And all data will appear here. And if you need to look at this in some specific days, you can just adjust dates here. And the result will be updated. And if you want to see some analytics specifically by one day, you can click here and you will get result by hours here. Okay, and the last feature I want to present you is our external pop-ups. You can find it in Assets, Pop-ups. So there is a new tab, External Pop-ups. And yeah, you can start creating your external pop-up from here or from your landing page when you added a pop-up to your landing page, or to when you work on creating in your pop-up library and pop-up builder. And yeah, you can create it from scratch. You can create it here. And or when you already have any pop-up, you can save it as external one. And it means that, like, yeah, when you save this pop-up, let's slightly update it and save it. And when I go to my library, pop-up library, I will see this pop-up with this external label. And when I click here, you can find all settings to set up those pop-up on an external page. And by completing all those steps, by completing your domain settings, where you want to those pop-up be shown, on what type of pages. Yeah, you can show it on some specific page or excluded some pages. And you can set up triggers. Should this pop-up be shown immediately or on some conditions? Yeah, and we'll have some list of conditions here. And yeah, how often to show this pop-up. And yeah, when all those settings are ready, you will get a script that you need to add to your website, to your header of your website or landing page. Sorry, and yeah, those pop-up will appear on external page or website. So, but you can manage it here at Instapage. So that's it, what I want to demonstrate you today. If you have any questions, let me know. I will check.
And if you could just speak up a little bit, I think some of our attendees were having a little trouble hearing you. But we do have a couple questions for pop-ups. The first one is, could pop-ups be added to a whole section of page types, or do they need to be added page by page? So I guess, like, would you be able to use regex in order to target like an entire group of pages, or do you need to add it one by one?
Yeah, you can add regex if you want to add a pop-up. For example, yeah, it could be shown by many pages, on many pages. Yeah.
Okay, so like if they wanted like everything under the directory promo or something, then they would just like have the, you know,
Yeah,
asterisk
correct.
and okay.
Correct, yeah.
Perfect. Another question we had, is there a limit to how many external pop-ups they can have?
So for now, we don't have any limits. Like, you can create as many pop-ups as you want and put it to your website, yeah, or to your landing page.
Okay. All right. And then the last one is where does the script go on the external website? Do you have a demo of that? Maybe you
Ye-
could show us within the platform, kind of like where that would live if it were an external website.
So those scripts that will be generated, we can generate it right now. But I can, okay, yeah, we can generate it right now. Mm,
I think you have to add the .com.
yeah. So you need to copy this script and then to put it on head section on every page of your website.
Okay. Would they be able to add that via like containerization through something like Google Tag Manager?
Mm, I'm not sure. Maybe we can answer this question later.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So we can we'll look at that, Roxanne, and test it in something like Google Tag Manager as well to see if we can fire it through there. But otherwise, just in the head section of your website, and then if you add it on all pages, then you would just control which page it shows on using the tools that Alexandra showed us inside the platform. All right. Another question, Alexandra, for the translated pages in collections, do you know what language model is being used for that?
It's a Gemini. I'm not sure about what exactly, but yeah, Gemini.
Okay, that's brilliant. I will say that previously I had done some tests in regards to language translation for other regions, and I kind of phrased my prompt instead of like just translating it directly, like say translating to German or to French, whatever language, I would say translate for a person in this region, because there are um, kind of like nuances of the languages. So, like someone who's like French Canadian speaks a little bit different than someone who's like in France speaking French. And so, sometimes, depending on the region that you're targeting, you may want to say something more specific, like translate for someone living in this area, just to catch those nuances and make it a little more personalized on that level as well. All right. Let's see if we have any other questions come in. Um, see. So, how about this one? Does email analytics have its own dashboard, or is there a place to view them all at once? I will ask Griffin that one.
Yeah, I can answer this one. So at this time, as Alexandra showed, it's at a per page level, no dashboard at the whole email level. However, it's good Alexandra's in here in the emails. You can view it like this view where you get like a high level overview of like some of these core metrics like delivery rate, open rate, and then click-through rate. So this is a good place to scan, get an idea. And then if you want to get a more detailed view, the visual view, you'd click on those the ellipses on the right and then jump into there. Um, but yeah, at this time, no dashboard, total dashboard view. This is the best place to kind of get your eyes on kind of how they're performing. But something definitely we can consider if we hear that more and more.
Okay. Um, Somebody asked, can we turn off the auto image optimization? Like, can they opt out of it?
That one, it's currently really being gradually done. If you do have concerns, I'd recommend, I mean, we can flag it, but definitely reach out to help@instapage.com just so we have it audited and make sure that you don't want to be a part of that kind of phased approach. But yeah, it's definitely something like just given this comment, we know people have potential concerns and we want to take it as gradual as possible. And yeah, so I would just recommending reaching out to help@instapage.com so it's documented, given that I don't have the info here.
Yeah, so go ahead and submit that there. And then also, if you have a CSM that you work directly with, you can also let your CSM know that you have concerns over it in case they have an option to opt you out of it. All right. Alexandra, somebody's asking, can I serve more than one pop-up on a page for external pop-ups?
Yeah, it's possible. Like you can serve many pop-ups.
It's just like one after the other. We're just gonna go.
Yeah, like if you can set up and properly, like yeah, maybe one pop-up when someone clicks on some button and another pop-up when someone going to leave your page. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
possible.
Yeah, definitely it's possible. I would just be cautious with it to make sure that you're not interrupting the user experience over and over again. I would probably limit it to maybe two on the page max, maybe one at like scroll depth and one on exit. But I wouldn't like really add too many more than that. But it is possible. All right. Well, I think that is it for today. So I'm going to go ahead and take back the screen. Let's go here. All right. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today for these feature presentations. If you have any questions about any of these new features and you have a CSM, then I would recommend reaching out to them. Otherwise, feel free to schedule a demo to go over some more of these features live if you'd like at bit.ly IP demo 10. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to myself at michelle@instapage.com or reach out to your CSM with any additional questions. Thank you again, everyone, for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.